much. Thanks very much. Now I'd like to introduce Glen Thorncroft. He's the CFA chapter president. He'll be sharing a message on behalf of Cal Poly's Labor Council. Glen?
As Dr. Koob mentioned, I'm speaking today as representative of the Cal Poly Labor Council. Together we represent 10 bargaining units across campus. I won't mention them all by name, but these groups include the CSU-EU, that's the staff union, Cal State University Employees Union, the APC, the Academic Professionals of California, Skilled Crafts, that's the State Employees Trades Council. We even have physicians represented by the Union of American Physicians and Dentists, and forgive me if I don't mention every union, but there's a lot of them on this campus. Our core is to bargain your contracts, represent you, represent and protect your rights. We're constantly called on to deal with employee issues and to enforce our contracts. Our job is to have your back. So, but it's really about much more. As CFA likes to always say, faculty working conditions are student learning conditions, and that really applies to all of us. And so on behalf of the Cal Poly Labor Council, we'd like to welcome Dr. Armstrong to Cal Poly officially. We wish him the best of luck as a leader and as a partner moving forward. And I know some of you are thinking he's been here for 6 months already, but that was preseason. I want to talk briefly about CFA and bargaining. This always sucks the oxygen out of the room. Just like last year, everybody's telling me to be positive in this speech, so I will say it. I am very positive that you're not going to like what I'm about to say. I mean, really, it's not going to be good. I'm going to be serious. Let me jump right into the good stuff, salary and benefits. Now, I thought CFA's bargaining proposal was entirely reasonable. First, fix the salary equity program from the last contract. It was only partially funded. It's only half funded. So if an equity program is only half funded, then by definition, it's not equitable. So we've got to fix that first. We talked about having SSIs returned to the contract because that's considered a no net cost benefit to the CSU. And finally, CFA is asking for a 1% general salary increase each year. That's nowhere near the 13% or so that remains unfunded from the last contract. But these are tough economic times. It doesn't even beat inflation. So I actually thought that the chancellor would jump at these proposals. Instead, what did the chancellor counter with? Zero equity, zero SSIs, zero GSIs. And my favorite is that he proposed automatic contract reopeners every year on salaries and benefits specifically. In other words, if you like bargaining as I do, you get to do it every year. And this may seem half funny. I have to give credit for the Chancellor's bargaining team for this one. For the first time, the Chancellor has hired an outside consultant to do his bargaining. First time. He's getting paid something like $7 million to negotiate a contract. So what does he come up with? Hey, we should do this every year. All joking aside, if the Chancellor has his way, for the first time in CSU history, we faculty could have a contract that includes permanent pay cuts and benefit cuts. But, you know, things are tough all over. How can we ask for anything as a faculty? And I've actually thought about that comment a lot, except for one thing. The money is actually there. The Chancellor will never tell you that he doesn't have the money. What he says instead is that he has other institutional priorities. And when you add to this that there are proposals that are a direct attack on faculty governance, which is something absolutely unnecessary in this or any other economic environment, then I have to agree with the Chancellor. He has other institutional priorities. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's going to get ugly and fast. So stay tuned and get ready. I said I was going to be positive. Okay. In these tough times, we have to support each other to stand with one another, because if we do, there can be successes. Last year, CFA fought and won, on this campus no less, a landmark grievance that supported the rights of lecturers in range elevation decisions. Yes. They won another decision that's not getting a lot of press, but it will, that affirmed the sanctity of the department level criteria in RPT. And have you heard of SB 8? SB 8, Senate Bill 8, the CFA-sponsored bill opens CSU auxiliaries to public scrutiny for the first time. I don't expect to see smoking guns, but it's a leveling of the playing field, making everybody work together. And the governor just signed it into law. SB 8 is not just good for faculty, it's good for the state of California and ultimately the students, which is why we are here. It took 3 or so years to do this, and it took 2 governors, but we did it. And the lesson here is perseverance pays off. And here in Cal Poly, there is reason to be hopeful about the future. We have an infusion of new blood and spirit on this campus. We have a new president, as I said before. I don't know if you've heard that. And I look very forward to working with him. We're in the middle of a provost search, which by all accounts, we have several outstanding candidates, and whatever they usually tell me. And it is going well, I hear. And personally, I have a new dean who I have not met yet, but I'm very happy about this. What you new folks need to know, what everyone needs to know, and I think you know this already, is that we have the best faculty and staff anywhere. They have sacrificed for the good of students at every turn, and when there have been cuts or even furloughs, knock on wood, they've handled them conscientiously and professionally, refusing to impact the students. Quality was never compromised, even in tough times. This is 100 years of history on this. But we are at capacity. The days of do more with less are over. The budget cuts have to stop, but not at the cost of quality. This is our challenge. But I'm positive about our chances for success. So welcome to Cal Poly and welcome back.
Thank you, Glenn. As an old-fashioned idealist, I always wondered about the adversarial relationship that's inherent in the labor management stuff. I always thought colleges were about collegial. But if we have to have that kind of a circumstance, the face of it in Cal Poly and Glenn has been a really refreshing change. He's been wonderful to work with. He calls it as he sees it, and I couldn't be more pleased that he has the role he has on the council. So thank you very much, Glenn.